Hello and welcome. Hey everybody. Hey TwitchBot4000, welcome to the chat. Oh, we're gonna be doing some game making today. It's not gonna be a long stream. I'm a little tuckered out, and I said I was not going to be doing more of this game that I should probably name at some point. And we were gonna do Martian Crawl, unless we had a breakthrough. But I think I do have a breakthrough. The thing we were stuck on last time was we've got this item here and we want to put it in an inventory component. And I figured the best way to do that would be to parent the item to the inventory component. But how do you do that? Like there's no way to synchronize parent. That's not a property. There's no like RPC call that I can make to make that work, because then that'll cause all of the spawners to lose track of the item, and then like we're in desync city at that point. But I did have a breakthrough. Spawners are supposed to be able to handle parenting and unparenting. That is actually something this is supposed to track when this item gets deparented, and I believe we can test that. I made some modifications to the to the game in hopes that it would polish a little more. But if we right click on this, it'll disappear. It does not disappear. Actually, it crashes the game. Hold on. Cannot call method add child on a null value. Is it because, so I messed around with the UI. So it's possible this doesn't exist anymore. UI layer, inventory UI element, VBox container. Okay, that's the problem. 9 patch rect. I really would like the UI to be better, and I don't know how to make it better. I am stumped on that, and it's grinding away at my sanity slowly. But I tried to fix it. Or I tried to help a little, it didn't work, but this should have disappeared. Why didn't it disappear? Okay. So if we right click again, it'll crash. It'll say, this failed. Target get node, remove child, and then add it to the UI. It should have removed it from here. Unless I did a dumb. There used to be another spawner here, I believe. It was spawning the item, but I said, that's painful. What if I just drop an item here for testing purposes? Because we're not using a spawner to make this item appear anymore, it's no longer synchronized. So what was happening, I'll just have to describe it. What was happening was this item would get despawned because it would be remove parent, and all the players would see that it's gone, and then it would get added to the UI element, but that would be only visible on the server. And that was not synchronizing to anywhere. But these guys are supposed to pay attention to the node that you point them at. So this one is pointing at the game node, and so is this one. And these are redundant. I should probably combine them. In fact, I will combine them. But theoretically, if I put this in the UI, it's dumb to do that, but if I do that, it should see when I add an item there, and it should propagate that item. I might be able to demonstrate that. So we will just set a spawn path of the parent, which is a color rect. Again, dumb, but just to demonstrate. Just to demonstrate that I'm not insane. Put an item there. Now this should, oh, it won't work. It won't work. It should work, but there's a bug. There is a bug that causes it to not replicate. And if I bring the server over here, it is actually where it belongs. but it's not up here. There's a bug, and there's a workaround for that bug. Let me check my notes here. If we call the request ready function on the target, that slaps the spawner and tells it, hey, do your job. There it is. It is properly replicated now. Let's not replicate this because we didn't log in. There it is. It's properly replicated now. Now it's showing up on everyone's inventory screen because it's dumb. Again, fair. This is just proving that we can unparent and parent an object and replicate that, which is good. So we can solve this problem that way. Or there's another option, and this is probably the better option in the long run anyway. We create a new component. We set up that component to have one job, and that one job is if I want to pick up an item, this component does all the picking up. This component tracks who is holding this item. This component tracks where this item is, that kind of stuff. That's not entirely true. We don't track where the item is because that's a different component's job. But this will make the item disappear when the item is picked up. The item is left here. It does not parent. It's not getting deparented. The entire game is going to be attached to this node, and that's fine. I like to use the phrase orphan and adopted in my code. Yeah. We can simply create a component, and then we can give the component properties that we can synchronize, and we just assign signals to those properties to say, like, this item has changed hands. Send the changed hand signals. So update everyone's inventory component, update the world, update the item, like the sprite 2D, and just do it all. Magic. I think that's a better strategy in the long run. It's just a better strategy in the long run. I think this is going to pay off when we get to the point where we're saving and loading, and we're having people join the game mid game, and like we have one map right now. We don't have any sort of idea of like loading the next map. What do we do with the previous map? That will be a lot easier to figure out if we have this component. So that's how I'm going to do it. I gave myself a to-do list because I perform better when I do that. So first thing I'm going to do, change this input handler function. So there's a bug that has been bugging me since the very beginning, and that's I would like to move this up here. Let me just left click. Oh no, my character's moving. Why did that happen? Well, it turns out the reason that's been happening is because our input handler is this function, and this function doesn't stop for anyone. This function always gets called forever. You never gets blocked. But you know what doesn't never get blocked? Unhandled input. If the input is handled, we don't care. We'll just let that one go. So now, let me just drag this up here. Look, our character isn't moving. Holy. There's a bug. If I click here. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. It works now. Never mind. We're not moving anymore. Great. I did mess around with the... First of all, I messed around with the whole thing element here. It looks different. I changed the health bars. I messed around with this resizing function, and it's now dynamic. It is, if I click this and I move down here, it will resize according to the mouse cursor. It is not locked to the mouse cursor. Well, actually, it is locked to the mouse. No, it's kind of detached now. That's just a magic number. there's a magic. What we're doing is hold down left click. Now we're resizing. Whenever I move the mouse, track how many pixels I moved it, and then scale by that amount, multiplied by a magic number. And this is the result. It's good enough. I can detach it from the mouse cursor. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. This is perfectly adequate. And now we can click. Now we can resize, and our character doesn't move. Great. Let me go to the player. So first of all, done. First of all, the lighting should not look like that. I thought I made this transparent. Maybe I didn't save it. So now we have light. There was an option. One thing that was bothering me was when you have two light sources, it was adding them together because the blend mode was add. So two people standing next to each other was getting really bright. So I changed it to mix. Problem solved. Move that over there just to demonstrate. My eyes, they're perfectly fine. Right click. Okay. Okay. Going to create a position component. We're going to create an inventory component. Well, we have an inventory component. We're going to make the inventory component more. We're also going to, oh, I love doing it live, make a collectible component. We're just going to do that. I would also like to move the camera out of the player and put them in the main. And then theoretically, there's a function in the camera that we can call. Can I just open the docs for this? It's like set target. No, I'm sure there was. I just read this like an hour and a half ago. There was something like set target. It was an hour and a half ago. It was like 8 hours ago, but I would like to figure that out. Oh well. Let me Godot camera 2D set target. Follow player. Because there's a way to do this without parenting the camera. Because I was reading about that, and I was like, okay, that seems better than just every player comes with a camera, and then we tell some players, turn off your cameras. Camera follow player. Process, set position. Why is that? That's not better. Is there a property that I can set on the camera? Anchor mode? No. Enabled. You know what? Never mind. I should have left myself more notes to figure that one out. I guess I'm not doing that because I don't see the method. I just assumed that there would be a method because unless custom viewport. Change the transform of the canvas by setting viewport.canvas transform in viewport. Note that the camera 2D node doesn't represent the actual position of the screen, which may differ. All right, whatever. Never mind. Come back to that. Let's do the harder ones. Make the position component. We're gonna need a new scene. Where's my scene? Oh. I think this can just be a node. No, actually, it's gonna be a multiplayer synchronizer. Position component. Your job is simple. Register the parent's position and track it. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're already doing that in the mover component. And I don't see any reason to like mess with that. I think we can leave that one alone. Okay, mover component. Okay, we're gonna say change these to self. Actually, we don't need the self. Okay, done. Let's, before we do that, we gotta await parent get parent dot ready. Do we? Actually, we don't need to do that because the parent doesn't need to exist. Theoretically, we should save this as a component, position component. Okay, A+. Let me go to our item. We don't need this anymore. Add this up. We are going to want to register this component. So we go to our object handler. Congratulations, object handler. There. Position component. We're also going to want to have an inventory component. Do you understand streams and networking now? I mean, I understood them on an academic level. A stream is a pipe through which data is shoved through. And then you fetch it on the other side, and then magic happens, and then it turns into ones and zeros. We got a position component. I think I need to name my class. So imagine one that stays open and sends control requests and receives updates. Call those sockets. We got the inventory component to register. Inventory component. And then I wish there was a way to do this automatically. Just automatically generate these functions for me, please. Position component. Inventory component. Position component. Inventory component. All right. Let's go back here. We got to make this thing register itself because I don't believe in work. Object handler dot register position component. We're going to pass in self and then get parent. Wait a minute. Does that make sense? I think it does, but no, it doesn't, because this is a mob list. Oh, that's a problem. Because mob is an actor. Well, we got to make this a little more complicated. First of all, I don't think we need this anymore. I would like to have an item list. Item for now. Add item. Item param. Item list dot append. And then all of these functions. Let's separate them out. Func, on register, object, param. I don't know. Okay, we need to have a remove item. Okay, and then one more thing. This can't be an actor anymore. We probably shouldn't be calling it mob. We should just call it like... What is the object that has the components called? What is that component holder? The holder param? Something like that. That does not make any sense to me, but I've already done it. All right. So we might have non-mobs with health. Agents are static or dynamic. We might have... I don't think we'll have a move. A mover has to be an actor, so that can stay. But this does not. And I think we can have a world where items can hold other items. So, refactoring. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe bearer would have been a better word. bearer param. No, that's not better than holder. Holder's not good, but neither is bearer. Sure. Okay. Could not find item in the current scope. Did I not name my thing? Nope. Class name item. Thus solving the problem. We need to on ready register this item. I'm not registering the mob on ready. Where am I doing that? I'm definitely doing that somewhere. That should be done in the mob. Mobs should just register themselves. Like I'm doing that. Where am I? Okay. Object handler dot register. No, hold on. Object handler dot find or object dot add. That is happening in the multiplayer spawner. I don't believe that's necessary. We should move that function out of the spawner and into the mob. Self. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to our player as well. Oh, but we should only do that if we're the server. Yes. Wait a minute. This should work. Because we only spawn if a server is on. If we spawn before a server happens, then this won't work. But what if we just never do that? Okay. Oh, geez, I wrecked my finger. That's weird. I got a splinter or something. But there's nothing in... I have no idea how that happened. I'll just have to not type with my thumb for a while. What if we just assume that works? We don't need to test it. Okay, we'll go to our object handler and take a look, and this is empty. Great. But the problem might be that we are not the server. Empty. There, okay, we got it. We got 7. That seems like too many. Who's in this? Who's in this? There's 0 mob, 1 mob, okay. 2 mob, I like where this is going. 0 mob again. 1 mob again. 2 mob, okay, so I forgot to remove the thing from the mob spawner. I did, yes. Okay, that solves the problem. Okay. Speaking of solving problems, what if I just take this function, move to the main. Where's my main? We have this other spawner. Put this function here. And then we go in here and we say, okay, first of all, this is temporary. Why is this a picture and this one not? Don't worry about it. We need to add the mob here. It should function the same. We should be able to just delete this. This is going to crash because something is relying on that mob spawner existing. Where is it? There it is. All right. Congratulations. You're now just using the mob spawner or the multiplayer spawner. And it works. Didn't need that extra spawner. All right. I actually should test. Make sure that that creature does despawn. Bum, bum, bum. And while I'm doing that, let us check this object handler. Okay, it's not in session 1. It's in session 2. And the mob list looks, that's the correct number, and it just dropped. Let's see if that, not this one. There appears to be one less mob in the world. Excellent. Okay. Let's do one more thing. Where is that multiplayer mobs? This script. Go away. You don't need to exist anymore. This we're also going to configure with items. We just need to do that right now. I mean, yeah, we just need to do that right now. Okay, now this thing will spawn items, this thing will spawn mobs, and this thing will spawn players. Spawn item. We give it a position, and it'll spawn an item there. We should give ID handler item func get item ID var ret equals stir item counter plus item tag item counter plus equals 1 return ret, and then we just got to make the variables that I invented real. Item counter int equals 0 const item tag is a string equals mob. Cool. I don't know how that R got in there. Back to the spawner. Get node spawn path call deferred add child item. I don't know why this is deferred. I don't think it costs anything to defer it. I mean, nothing substantial. So, whatever. But I don't know why that's deferred. There's probably a reason. It's probably a good reason. But we're not going to find out right now. So, if instead of this item being here, what if we add a new add child node, thank you. Brain for catching up. Tile map layer. Okay, we're gonna call this the item layer. And we're gonna take this item that we have right here. We're gonna not put it there. Yes, we're gonna go here. Probably could have done this offline, but we're just going to do it live because make our life easier. We'll add this icon. Yes. Oh, wait. No. This is the wrong size. This is wrong. I shouldn't have clicked yes. Here we go. Get that out of here. Okay, add. Would you automatically like to create tiles in the atlas? I thought that would let me change the size of this, but no. Do I not get to resize? I guess not. That's okay. We don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, we're not spawning this particular tile. We're just painting. It will get replaced. How do I set the grid? Okay. This is wrong. How do I change the size? Do I need to, there we go. Now we can paint this one, why not? We will put it somewhere over here. Put it there. All right. That we will say is fine. I'll figure that out later. We need to go into main and say spawn starting mobs. We also need to say spawn starting items. Var item map tile map layer equals, there it is, for item in item map dot get used cells. Okay, that should give us an item. It's actually spawning. If we right click, it didn't disappear. We also didn't right click on it. Did it actually spawn the item? Not that one. Oh no, it didn't. There's no item. Go ahead and see what the heck happened. That looks messy. A lot of errors happened. That's what happened. Oh, I never connected this function to the network handler. That's the problem. We're not listening. There we go. There's our item. Right click and it crashes. That's not what I expected. Target our request ready. Oh, we're not doing this. Right. But why is this null? Oh, right. This is all placeholder garbage. I need this to be the target ID. So the target ID is 3mob? That can't be right. There's no way we named it 3mob. Hold on. Oh, did I not change the, go to my ID handler. Oh, I did. I'm an idiot. Item. Okay. Why is it target ID 3 mob? Okay. This should work. It's the wrong item, but it should work. Get on 3 mob. That's not 3 mob. What is that actually? Where's no item? Where's the item? Okay, hold on. Did I, okay, I'm still goofing. There's still a goof here. Let me check the item ID handler. Okay. These are separate functions. Am I calling get mob ID twice? Let's go to the item. There's nothing here. Did I not make this function? How is this getting a name? Where's this getting a name from if I didn't make this function? Is it getting it from the network handler? No. Mob ID. Oh yeah. Can we name this correctly, please? Okay, 0 item. There we go. And we got rid of it. And it's on the server, we can see it's where it belongs. So that code is working. We got the position component now. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to create the collectible component now. And this can just be a node, I'm pretty sure. And it's just a script. Getting a lot of components. We'll have a few more. We'll probably have a dozen more, and then I think we'll not be making any more. We maybe should put the scripts in a folder. That might be easier. Oh, shoot. Don't get that underscore out of here. Okay, there we go. Better. Yep. All right. Make sure that I didn't break anything by doing this. Game still exists. Excellent. And before I continue, I'm getting bugged by these being visible, so I'm going to turn that off. We're just making a collectible component. It's just going to have, it's going to track a few things. We're going to track, is an actor holding it? No. We're going to track, is an inventory component tracking us? And if it is, then we need to make sure that we are not visible. And actually that's kind of it. We just turn off visibility. And if we don't have a actor, then we turn on visibility. We show up in the world, and we can when we're spawned, we can connect to the signals of whatever we're connecting to, and we can listen for I don't know. Maybe we should have it the other way around, where like if a mob has, or if an item has a collectible component, the item connects to the collectible component ownership change signal. And if that's true, then we need to update, I don't know, just start writing code. Just stop. Just write code. Collectible component. We need to track who owns us. There owns owner equal is a inventory component. We should also track who we belong to. Their parent. Do we need to track that? I'm not sure. So we need to be able to set visibility on the parent. All right, so when we're ready, what we're gonna do is register ourselves. So we need to make all this in the object handler a thing, var collectible component list dictionary equals blah. All right, register collectible component. This probably will fail. I need to start learning to close these things. Back to the object handler. We have this registered, but it can't parse that because that function's broken. It's fine. We'll come back to that. Get collectible component. All right, back to the collectible component. If we check pass here, we're good. Just to check, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Oh, I can't name this owner. What is an owner? What is that? Is that the parent? No, that doesn't seem right. It's fine. That we can pick a better name. Collector. We need to go to the object handler dot register collectible component self. Get parent, is that right? Parent equals get parent. How did I do it for here? Is server. Right, we don't want to be registering things if we are not the server. Because that's a waste of time. How did we do in the position handler? Position component. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, it's just, there's no point in registering the position if we're not the server. There's no point. The collectible component needs to have a multiplayer synchronizer, and the multiplayer synchronizer's job is to synchronize this value. And we should then make a connection to when this value changes. So set x collector equals x, emit collector changed, emit signal collector changed if x is not equal to collector. Unexpected indent in class body. How do I do this? What's the syntax? Oh, I need another colon. Okay. We don't have that signal yet. I think I want the signals to be below the variables. How did I do that for the health component? I did it above. Let's just be consistent. Why am I emitting a signal when I can just call a function? There's probably a reason. There's probably a reason I'm doing that. Emit signal collector changed. When the collector changes, we first catching it in other clients. Yeah, that would be the reason. I just don't. Trying to think, like, when an item want to do something when its collector changes. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, that's true. That is a thing. At some stage, you refactor scrap everything for an ECS on a server for unit amounts and speed. Unity stuff there is up for years. I don't expect that if I have to refactor the stuff to that level, I don't think this is going to get shipped. What's wrong with this? Collector change not declared. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So we do want to register that. And I can do that, right? I'll never emit signal. Okay. Emit signal is a that. Takes in a string. Connect collector changed dot connect. I need to pass in the function. Update parent func update parent. This is if we have a collector. Pass. Then we need to go parent dot visible equals false. That's probably not correct. What are we actually doing? We're trying, let's assume we're in the item. Oh my goodness, I don't need that open. I don't need that open. Don't need that open. Here we are, we're in our item. We're gonna add a collectible component. We need to set the sprite 2D and the collision shape 2D to, I don't know. Are we just going to assume that the variable is always called sprite 2D, or is there a way to just get all things, look for all collision? No, we shouldn't do that. That's inefficient. What we should do, doesn't this have a visibility? It does. Let's just set visible to, okay, I was right. Let's just set visibility to false. Parent visible to false. We need to copy the sprite 2D over to the UI so that the player can still see this thing exists, but we don't have to move the item itself. I need to add a multiplayer synchronizer. Create. We are connected to the collectible component, and the property we care about is the collector. Please. Oh my god, okay, fine. And the way that we've set this up, the synchronizer will update this value. And then when this value gets updated, it'll emit this signal. And when this signal happens, this function will get called on the client. And when it'll also get called on the server. And we probably care about that, but not right now. Because there's at some point I need to remove the UI from the server. Or do I? I don't know. We'll worry about that later. We'll call this update parent function. All of the clients will call this update parent function. Else parent.visible equals true. We are not going to set the position of this thing, but we do need to make sure that the position of this thing gets set. All right, just to verify. So this item is not getting deleted. No, it is getting deleted because we never changed that function. Also, I never added this component to the item, so collectible component. Let's go to our input handler and stop unparenting move item. This should be get item, but whatever. No. We're going to go ahead and go target dot collectible component. Dot of the function we just made, collector equals target. Nope. That's not quite right. Get sender player node. There we go. That's correct. All right. Let's see what this does. When we right click on this, this should disappear. It didn't. Invalid assignment of property or key collector with the value of type character body 2D on a base object of type node collectible component. Oh, wait. This is getting the collectible component of the item. No, that's correct. What? No, this should work. This is the item. Oh, invalid assignment of property or key collector. Is it not called collector? Did I call it something else? No, I called it collector. Oh, it only takes an inventory component. Oh, right. We can't pass it the character body. We got to pass in our inventory component. We got to show. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's. I did that. I did that on purpose. I shouldn't have done that on purpose, but I did that on purpose. That should work. Okay, this should disappear. Why is it there? It should be invisible now. Why is it visible? If I right click on it, is that gonna, it's not even on the grid. No, it's still there. If I look on the server, it's in the corner, it's there. Like, it's been moved. Okay, it's probably been moved because I didn't get rid of this function. Understandable. Why is it still visible? Did I not finish the code? We're not calling that function, we're not calling that print line in the collector. Oh, I didn't write a print line. That would be why. Print updating parent. Server. Okay. Uh-oh. That should have worked. That should have worked. Okay, we are calling setting collector. Okay, so we are getting there. We're just not emitting the signal. Why are we not emitting the signal? Did we not connect it correctly? Can we not catch the signal from our own function? Update parent. Oh, we're not emitting the signal. Oh, that's okay. So there's a problem with this if statement. If x is not equal to the collector, change the collector. Okay. X is null and collector is null. Oh, well, that's actually correct. That is correct. X is object null. Did I not give this guy an inventory component? Oh. Figured it out. Missing. I never gave my guy an inventory component. Thank God. I was going to lose my marbles. I don't know why this is a 2D. I'm trying to make these nodes whenever possible because nodes are super lightweight. Inventory component. Could you be a node? It's possible this will have to be a node 2D, but I'm not going to take that until... Okay, we updated, we emitted the signal and we updated the parent. All right. Why is it here? I mean, that's not the question. I know why it's there. Why is it visible? Let's look at our thing. Here's the 0 item. It's not visible. The visibility is off. Why can we still see it? Do we have to toggle the visibility on the sprite and the collision shape? Who decided that? Who decided that? Well, the sprite's invisible, or the item is invisible, but the sprite's visible. Therefore, paint it anyway. Why isn't visibility inherited? So I can just do this all day. All right. Well, at least we know what the problem is. I don't have an easy solution to that. The problem is I need to. Okay, we don't need these print lines. Everything's working now. The problem was us. Setting the parent to visible is not enough. We need to set the sprite and the collision box to visible. I mean, to not visible. But I can't just assume those. Like, do all items have a collision shape 2D? Could it be a collision rectangle 2D? I don't know. Collision. Could it be a collision polygon 2D? So, is there a way for me to just... Nothing in static body 2D. Nothing in physics body. Is there a way for me to be like, get collision object? Get shape. I mean, it would be ideal if I could just say item dot make everything just make it all visible. Maybe there's a way to do that. Godot make children visible, not visible. Hiding the parent node itself, or by using a specific method to hide all children while keeping the parent visible if needed. Hold on, wait a minute. I just realized something. Let's go to our function here. Okay, we're going to see updating parent. That only happened once, but there are two. There should have been two. It should have been on the server and the client. But it didn't. I was certain that was going to work. So if we look at this, if we look at the collectible component, the collector exists, and that parent exists, but of course. But if we go here, no collector. This guy's sleeping on the job. You have one job, dude. Collector. Collector. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. Is this not capable of synchronizing objects? Oh no. We can work around that if that's true, but I want to confirm that that's true before I do. We're not stuck. Is this a bug though, or is this intended behavior? Let's find out. Godot multiplayer synchronize object. I don't think this is an object that we're telling it to synchronize. Oh, well, it is because it's a node. This is an object, so what we can do is instead of making that an object, we can make that a string, and then we make that there's a second object. And then we just synchronize the string. That's hacky. That's hacky. So I'm not chomping at the bit to do that. Can we on an object property? Synchronization is not supported for object type properties like resource. Properties that are unique to each peer like instance object. Okay. Yep. All right. So what we do is we have this variable collector. Var collector name string. Okay. So we're gonna change the collector name here. Equals collector dot name. I think that works. I think that's correct. And then here set x if x is not equal to collector name, then go get the node and update the collector. And then we will just set the synchronization on this. And you might say, well, won't that result in an infinite loop? No, because this will stop it. That's the if statement will stop it. So we need to know how to get objects. So that means we need to, I know where to find main. It's in the input handler. Dot main dot get node x. So first of all, collector name equals x, collector equals that. And then we go to our synchronizer and we say, hey, this is too hard for you. Synchronize on the string. Server, okay. Now watch this. Instantly crash. Invalid access to property key name on a base object of type null instance. Oh yeah, that can happen. Wait, how is that happening? Oh, right, collector starts as null. No, we set it here. X is null. Okay, so X is null. That's right, we might set X to null. So if collector else collector name equals null. Fine. We've updated the parent. We did it twice. Yes! It still isn't visible. Still is not invisible. The AI lied to me. It said this would be invisible if I made its parent invisible. Not visible. It's not invisible here. Why would that be? We definitely set this to hidden, didn't we? Hold on. If I right click on it now, still not. We go over here. This is not collected. Hello? Why is it not collected? Can we look at the server? That's not the server. Wait, why is it visible on all of them? Excuse me? Why? Okay. So we've gone ahead and we've done it. We've right-clicked on it and nothing happened. This item has not been collected. Let's go to the code. Let's go to the RPC handler. You're responsible for collecting. Why are you not doing? Set the collector to this. Does that exist? Our player inv equals this thing. Player inv print player inv is player inv. Because if we're just setting things to null, it obviously won't work. But we should have an inventory. No, we have an inventory component. What am I missing? Okay. Okay, there might be some sort of stupid loop going on here. Let's debug this a little harder. And then okay. Now let's see what we got. What are we working with? Okay, we're setting the collector to inventory component. So we're setting the name to that. So now we're setting the collector to object null. I think I know what the problem is. This is returning we're looking for the inventory component. So we shouldn't be doing it this way. We should be doing object handler dot, but we can't do that because only the server has an object handler. Crap. Right. The inventory component doesn't have a useful name. The collector name needs to not be collector.name. It needs to be collector.parent.name. We don't want the name of the inventory component. We want the name of the inventory component's, I don't know. What was this? Oh, it was input handler dot main dot get node x. Okay, and we tried to pass in a character body 2D, but we can't. Dot get node. What is it called? Inventory component. There we go. There we go. Okay, the parent is set. Let's see it. It's not, it's visible, it's invisible correctly. We're replicating that correctly. This is going to say, this is owned by 278068802. Naturally. Could this be the server that's happening on? Let's check everyone else. Who do you think owns this? Same dude. All right. So now we own this, and all the clients have synchronized on that. So this is progress. We need to, now that we've collected it, we need to put it in the UI. That's half true. I want to make a slot in the inventory component. The inventory component needs to receive this thing. We don't want to just say the item knows who owns this. We want to be able to say the player knows what items they have. So for now, I'm just going to make one item slot. Item. Yes. I want the item. I don't want the collectible component. I want the item. Yes. So also let's have our parent. Let's track our parent. Func ready. We need to register this if we're the server. So let's go find someone else who's done that. Oh, hey, we'll just copy this whole thing. Okay. Obviously, we're not a collectible component. We're an inventory component. All right. Now, I want get item. Func. Get item. Pass in the item param. Item slot equals item param. Okay. And I think how we should do this is in our RPC handler, because we've got a lot of placeholder code here. We don't want to be doing this. We just want to go inventory handler, here's an item, you take care of the rest. And then the inventory handler is responsible for going collectible component. I own you now. And then the world is happy. I don't want that to be logic that I have to think about in the RPC handler. I want to just be able to call get item. I stop calling everything get item, please. Shoot. Add item to inventory. Go to RPC handler. So all we're gonna do, we get our player. And we'll need to add like bounds checking, like, are you allowed to get this item and stuff? Do that later. We get the player inventory. We say player inv dot add item to inventory target. And then we don't do this. We also don't we don't do any of this, actually. We don't do those. We will take this line and repurpose it over here. Item param. Get the collectible. Add ourselves to it. This should theoretically still function exactly as it did before. I think so. I think that's correct. We need to update the UI. And I'm just going to do a hacky update right now because we have a hacky UI. So I have this thing, inventory point. This is the part where this gets a little shaky. Done. Because I did not fully look into how to do this. We have a point. I don't know how to copy the sprite. Okay, now that I've said that out loud, I was looking some of this up, and the sprite has a texture, and we can clone the we can set the texture of the sprite 2D to the texture of the point of the inventory point. It has a texture, right? No, it's a control. It doesn't have a texture. It does have a texture. No, it doesn't. But we can set this to we can change it. Instead of being a control, what if you are a texture rect? This definitely has a texture because it is a control that displays a texture. So we do this, we give it a texture. That texture is the item we just picked up. Additionally, because this is a control, it naturally has interface. We can naturally click on it. I don't have to worry about setting up a collision box or any other crap. So all we have to do, theoretically, let's get this hacky little piece. That's not going to work. But if we do this, go straight to the inventory. Nope. Go straight to the input handler .main .get node. Can we put some quotes around that? No, we can't. The editor does not appreciate me trying to put quotes around an existing string. That's not cool. .texture equals item param dot. How do we find? We're just gonna call it sprite 2D. It's called sprite 2D. Damn it! If we're trying to pass in an animated sprite 2D, then we deserve to crash. No, don't be so hard on yourself. Maybe we need a sprite component. Whatever, this is hacky right now. Let's just .get node sprite 2D. I just want this working. Oh, .texture. So if we do that, there's a texture rect here, and put that aside. Power key Shift D expands and contracts the editor space. Power key. Let me look into that in just a second. Instantly crash. Invalid assignment. We can't set the texture of type compressed 2D on a null instance. What do you think is null here? What are we assuming is null? All right, what if we do var node, UI node equals this rigmarole. UI node. Okay. Power key shift D. I mean, that is a cool thing, but that's not what I thought would happen. None of those are changing the editor space. Try Control Shift D for Windows. Yeah, that does that. Which is cool. I'm not mad. All right, let's make that error happen again, but this time the debugger will help us out a little more. It'll tell us UI node is null. This doesn't exist. You thought this existed, you idiot. You donkey. Why doesn't it exist? vboxy container 9 patch rect. Didn't I copy this? Is it because it's in quotes? Is it because of the $sign? Could be because of the $sign. Actually, wait a minute. No, that doesn't. It's probably the $sign. I just don't know how to do things. Didn't know with Windows. Oh, it's on the server. It's on the server. Why? The server shouldn't even have a thing. Oh, I know why. Because we didn't propagate this. We need to RPC to the... Oh. No, we don't. This is happening... No, this is happening on the server. Right. This is not happening... I'm out of spoons. I don't have that. We could do something similar to what we did with the collectible component, where we pass in the string and then the inventory component goes, I know what you're talking about. I'll take care of the rest. We could do that. I'm going to think about that, and then maybe we'll do it tomorrow. We made some progress. We got the input handler. That was a gimme. We got the position component created and the collectible component created. This we've made significant progress on. So, like, it's in the UI. It's just in the wrong UI. It's in the server's UI and not the client's UI. This I need to research more. I also want to make an attack target icon. I actually have an attack target icon. I need to make that work. That should be pretty simple. I think I want to just put that in the player. So the player has a target loc rect, and we're going to make another rect. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. Needs to be attack low correct. Okay. This actually should not be added as a child to anything. This should just be chilling because we're gonna parent it to a mob that we want to die, but we're going to do that on the client side. Target move graphic. Okay, func attack move graphic target param actor attack loc rect dot reparent to target param. Is that how this works? So we go to our input handler, and whenever we right click on a target, we also want to call player dot set attack. What is it called? What did I just call it? Attack move graphic. To collider. Invalid assignment of this. Does this not exist? What is it called? Oh, does this not exist? Two equals. Double equals. Okay. We click that up. It's in our inventory, but we can't see that yet. We right click on there and we don't get a thing. That should have happened. Let's go to our player, make sure that this is print attack loc rect print attack loc rect. I would like to stop printing updating parent. So let's go to our collectible component. We're good. We're good. We're good. All good. Just move past that. It is a texture rect, and it's still a texture rect. Where is it? Let's look at our remote. It should be parented to the nope, to the mob, zero mob. Don't see it. So we have this texture rect, but that's the move one. Nothing, and this guy is not a nothing. That's a nothing. All right. So it's just gone. Did it ever exist? Server client. Let's go look at the remote. This session has nothing. This session has nothing. What is this? And oh. It could just be a case of we can't reparent this if it doesn't have a parent. It could just be a case of that. So let's just give it a put it with its buddy. Okay. Well, it exists now. Did it parent? Okay, this is definitely the client. Where is the texture rect? Oh, it is there. It's there. Why isn't it? Why didn't it move? Why is it still here? It should be parented to this now. Am I crazy? Is that not how that works? Its position isn't relative. Its position is actually absolute. Damn it. What if the player sets its position to 0? Zero. Oh, okay, that was the problem. Clearly that's wrong, but it doesn't help that this image is only 16 by 16. So this just needs to be offset. It just needs to be offset. How are we offsetting this before? Whatever, it's all jank right now. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Okay, we've locked on. What if we target ourselves? Okay, we're off. It's off on this guy because this guy is offset. Because this is not a correct mob. But if we do it on ourselves, well, it would be correct. But anyway, don't think about that too much. What I think I'm going to do offline is create a tween for both of those to make them fade away after like 2 seconds. So we're going to say this is done. And then these are just thoughts that I had, and yeah, okay. That's a wrap. We've done it. All right. So to do, I will I already have a to do. Offline to do. Add a tween to make the target's graphics fade away over time, because I don't want them to just linger forever. Maybe the attack one can stick around. It'll go away when you aren't targeting anything anymore. And then we need to figure out the rest of the inventory component. The UI is on the server instead of the client. Oops. Must fix. We'll fix that next time. And then what we'll do next, once we have the basic inventory, I thought I wrote it down here. We're going to have a basic message box. Oh, here it is. A basic log window. So it'll say things like player 1 attacked mob for 1 damage, or mob attacked player 1 for 1 damage. And then it'll be a window. We'll put a scroll bar on it so you can scroll up and down. And that's it. It'll just be that. That'll be the first case of the server sending RPCs to the clients. Cool. Looking forward to that. All right, let's see what's next. Who should we raid? A lot of strange streams tonight. Dungeon dive. Status effects. That looks cool. Nope, that doesn't, never mind. Level 24 unlocked, sure. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope this was fun. Hope this is informative. It was cool learning about the multiplayer synchronizer having a bug. Probably going to have more of that. And if I get stuck in the future, I'll just stop the stream and Google furiously. Hope y'all are having good times. Hope y'all are having fun out there. Hope y'all are playing games and making games. See you all next time. Thanks for watching.